Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 5, or should I call this the court of public opinion? Hear ye, hear ye. All rise for the honorable whoever is presiding over this court, because we here to talk about some he said, she said stuff. And there's an old saying that says, win the battle, lose the war. And that's what we talk about here, because this is some petty stuff. And it makes me start to think that, you know what, is this something bigger underneath? Because right here, this little topic is petty as all else. First of all, I don't think we had enough information to convict either of these people, either Jasmina or Michael. And the reason I say that is because so far we've really only heard Jasmina's side. We haven't heard Michael's testimony. Now, I know they showed that clip of when supposedly Michael felt he was cut off, but I know from past experiences that these producers and editors are pretty crafty. So I'm quite sure that conversation went on a longer period of time than that little 2-second clip we saw. So I haven't heard confirmation from Michael that that is the exact clip where he felt cut off. And in that clip, do I think he got cut off? No, I don't think he got cut off in that clip. But I still don't know if that is the clip where Michael felt cut off. Second of all, we also heard from Jasmina on how Michael spoke to her. He was loud, he was abrasive, he was rude, he was this. But guess what? We didn't see no tape on that. So once again, we've only heard from Jasmina. And I'm not saying she's wrong or she's misinterpreted the situation. I'm not going to say that. But I'm a type of person where I like to hear both sides of the story. I'm just not going to just go with one person's side of the story, especially when I've seen things from Jasmina that I don't like. Now, if she would have hit me with this in episode 1, I would have been fully on board with her. But I've seen some things out of Jasmina that makes me say, you know what? I might need to pause on you, Jasmina, just a little bit until I get a little more information. Would I like to see some more optimism between these two, like what Jasmina's talking about? Absolutely. But you know who I want to see it from? Both of them. Because actually, I don't see this optimism that Jasmina talks about from her either. I don't see any smiling. I don't see any laughter. I don't see her taking the high road. I don't see her letting things go. I see the opposite. I heard her getting on a bone and chowing down on it. That's not optimism. Do I see this cautiousness and this sort of reservedness about Michael? Absolutely, I do. I absolutely see that as well. I think what they're both asking for from each other, they're both also not giving to each other. So that's what I don't like. I don't like when people ask for something, but they don't give it. Jasmina goes on and talks about how he always looks at the negative. Well, if you're so optimistic, Jasmina, then you would have a completely different response. And when he was asking for that apology, Jasmina, you would have had a completely different response. Instead of holding your ground and saying, I didn't cut you off, maybe your answer should have been, okay, I cut you off. If you feel like cutting you off, how many seconds should I have paused before I answer? That's what you ask when you're seeking to understand. But when you're seeking to be just right, you go straight to, I didn't do that. And when you say you're not going to issue an apology because all I can do is apologize because of the way you felt, well, guess what? He can come to you right now and just say, you know what? You felt I was yelling and screaming at you and I was rude. So I apologize for that's the way you felt. Do you want him to apologize for his behavior, or do you want him to apologize because of the way you felt? I'm sure you want him to apologize for his behavior, not just because of the way you felt. So that's a bullshit answer, Jasmina. Give me more. I know earlier in the season, I called Jasmina the stallion, and he was called the lone wolf because he said he was a lone wolf. And, Jasmina's tall and lean like a stallion. But I might need to relabel these two the two bulls, because honestly, they both are coming off a little bit stubborn. And if I start to bring in some background, some contextual information from all of the family members, then guess what? You're right. We can try and convict Michael on the fact that, when he sometimes thinks the worst because he doesn't want to get disappointed. We know that's all rooted in fear and disappointment, which he's explained, his sisters has explained. but that's in his past. And so if we want to convict him on that so soon, then we might need to have to convict Jasmina on her past. Because what her past has told us, what her parents have told us, one, her father said that she's a diva, and he said, stand your ground. He told Michael, don't get run over. We don't need a weak man. What was he trying to tell Michael? Was he trying to say, listen, danger, danger, just like Lindsay's father was trying to warn Mark? Because if we're going to convict people over what parents, family members said, Jasmina, then we might need to talk about what your stepfather said. And in fact, everyone else kept saying, Jasmina needs someone vulnerable to open up to her. Well, let me tell you something. This is telling me that people haven't opened up with her. And maybe the reason they haven't opened up with her is because she's pretty hard on people. And let me tell you, the biggest way to make a person shut down on you is be hard on people. And Jasmina is hard on a person. So if Michael's already coming to the situation he doesn't want to open up, Jasmina is definitely not the person that's going to make him open up. She's going to make him go back into a hole 10 feet deep. And Jasmina has told us she's never even been in a relationship in the state of Massachusetts. And then she told us that every guy that she's was with, miraculously after they break up with her, they get married. Why is that, Jasmina? Why are you the girl that all of a sudden they realize, I do want to be married, but I didn't want to be married to you? So I don't know, Jasmine, if you want us to convict Michael so soon. You know what? He could have yelled at you. He could have been rude. He could have been abrasive, right? He could have been all those things. But we also don't know what you said in that heated conversation. So I'm not sure. I really think these two people are stubborn. And I think this is an argument over pride and ego. And I think they're both bullheaded. And let me tell you, this is starting to show to be a bad match. Because actually what Michael probably needs is he needs a woman with a little bit more compassion, right? A little bit more tenderness. And Jasmina might actually need a person who's going to laugh things off and let it roll off their back and not think about it so seriously, because she comes off as a very serious person and there is no lightheartedness in this relationship. Everything is so serious and heavy, and I really don't like it.